Today we celebrate one of the great saints of the church, St John Chrysostom, who passed away in the year 407. St John was born around the year 344. His father died at the age when his mother was 20 years old. St. John was raised by his mother and his older sister. Ultimately, he was given the best of all educations. He went to study Athens under the very famous professor Libanius, who, when Libanius was asked who should precede him as teacher, he said, John. However, he says the Christians have taken him away from us. St. John then lived a life of extreme asceticism from roughly about the years 374 to 381. And he denied himself food, denied himself sleep. He was just an extreme ascetic trying to unite himself with Christ. He was ultimately, though, in the year 381, ordained a deacon. In 386, he became a priest. And this is when we really are exposed to St. John as an unbelievable orator, as he was just an incredible homilist and kept people enthralled. His ability to use just analogies and stories and things which were contemporary to him and to his people just endeared him to them. And then 12 years later, in 398, he was made the Patriarch of Constantinople. He was a tireless, hardworking pastor who was not afraid to tell the truth and was not afraid to just basically call someone out. And because of this, the Empress had a very difficult time with him. And so she forced his exile in the year 403. The day after, or the night after his exile, there was an earthquake that shook the city. And she thought this was God's warning to her, so she brought St. John Chrysostom back. And their relationship, the healing of their relationship did not last very long, and by the following year she had him exiled again. And he ultimately died in exile in the year 407. It was while he was in exile, and just as he was dying, that he said these very famous words, "Glory be to God for all things. Doxa tho Theo, pandon eniken." Glory to God for everything. This is a statement of faith, whereby we believe and understand that God is in control of every event, and whatever he's allowing to happen to us at any given moment is happening out of his kindness for our salvation. So Arcadius, who was the husband of Princess Eudokia, her children, and St. Pulcheria brought St. John Chrysostom back to Constantinople from Comana 31 years later on January 27th. And it's that day that we celebrate the translation of St. John's relics back to Constantinople. St. John gives us so much to hold on to in our Christian faith. And glory be to God, he has left us roughly 1,500 sermons and 240 letters that he wrote, which have been translated into English or in the public domain. But what he inspires us is to be completely devoted to Christ, to love God. And he inspires us also to not be afraid that God is in control. Through his prayers, may we all have a wonderful and blessed day today. And of course, it's through his prayers that we celebrate his divine liturgy. God bless you all. Good morning.